Hey guys. Oh, this is like an impromptu episode. I wasn't planning on recording one today, but I'm in the trenches emotionally, and I feel like what better way to explain being in the trenches than to show you physically that I'm in the trenches. I actually have been struggling for a couple months, and with just like a multitude of things, to be honest. I think, it's been a lot of glamorizing, moving and being nomadic and coming to an island by myself, but there's also a lot of weight that comes with it too. And I kind of just thought it was going to be in the first couple months. Like I was like, oh, the first couple months are going to be hard because it's new and it's like, a brand new culture. It's culture shock. It's a whole new way of living. But then it just kept being hard. And now I'm just at a place where I'm really depressed, and imposter syndrome has been like drilling a hole in my brain for the last couple months. I think being apart and away from my businesses and not being there in person and trying to manage things remotely is a lot harder than I expected. And honestly, I just wanted to show you guys what true vulnerability is and authenticity. It's like the whole point of my brand and the whole point of this podcast, and especially season 3. I want to be as transparent as possible. And I know my producer likes me to clip this to my shirt, but I need to hold it. I need to hold it today. And I just, I've been kind of battling it silently. By kind of, I mean like fully. I've let some of my friends in, obviously, but I really struggle with feeling like a burden. I think growing up in an environment where my emotions were always shut down or neglected, or just, I was constantly told I was too much. I always fear being too much to people. And I think there's like an abandonment fear attached to that too, because if I tell someone, hey, I'm struggling, I need you, and they don't show up for me, I feel like I'd spiral. So I like to just like call my friends and then just see the vibes and be like, if they call me back, they're free, then maybe I'll let them in. But it's interesting because I'm the first person that's like, come to me if you need anything. But I really struggle with leaning on people when I need it. And it's so weird too, because I'm like, I'm lonely. I'm in Bali. I think it's a difficult island to build friendships with because it's so transient. There's so many people coming in and out, and there's not a lot of people that stay permanently. And I knew that coming into it, but I just didn't realize how lonely I would get. So it's been a challenge to combat that. And, going through heartbreak and not being with someone that I'm deeply in love with, and going no contact so we can both heal, that's pretty much split my heart in two. and then, just trying to navigate the business realm. And I think imposter syndrome, when you own a business, it doesn't matter what magnitude you're at. I think there's just always this daunting feeling over you, like you're not doing enough and you should be more successful and you should be doing this. And I've really tried to tap into that voice, my inner critic voice, and identify who it is. And it's my mom, unfortunately. It's a very haunting voice. I try to not remember it, but it's ingrained in my brain. And it's always her voice, and it's always her saying, you're not enough and you'll never be enough. And I mean, she was very cruel. For those that are new here, I am no contact with my parents. It's been 1.5 years, and it was the best decision I ever made. My mom is deeply narcissistic and very unwell. She was a very cruel mother, and that is why her voice is the voice of critic in my mind. And just trying to sit with all of this, I think alone is intense, especially having BPD, having PTSD, having ADHD, like all of these A to Z disorders on top of just navigating everyday life, and then on top of pulling myself out of a routine. Like, it's interesting. My therapist was always like, you are going to thrive in a routine. And then I just like made my life's mission to not have a routine. And then I'm like just shocked at why I'm not thriving. But I like to challenge myself. I want to live the life I want to do, and I don't want to let my mental illnesses hold me back. And I believe I'm gaining skills, to combat needing a super strict routine. I kind of resent routine and structure. I don't know, probably because of my childhood. I feel like everything stems from childhood, but I think our childhood was so regimented and time was so like managed. Everything was micromanaged. There was not a lot of room for play and just being. And I resent that and I hate that. And then I also just think Western culture is so rigid and there's a rule for everything. There's a law for everything. And it just reminds me of control. And I don't like authority at all. Hence why I'm my own boss. Like I hate authority. Let me just make sure this is still filming. Yeah, we're good. It just made a little noise and I was afraid that it stopped filming. I think that would push me over the fucking edge if I got this vulnerable for you guys. And then my phone was like, you know what? Fuck you. We're not recording anymore. But yeah, so I think I hate structure and I hate, like how big time is implemented in the West, like 9 to 5 and like breakfast and lunch hour and everything's so rigid and strict. And I really try to push back against that. But then in doing so, it can obviously leave me feeling some type of way. I think for anyone, mental illness or not, it can feel very challenging to break free of a routine. And I think too, when I started my company, I had no idea the success that would follow. I had no fucking idea. I knew it was a good idea. And I knew I would never let it die no matter what, because I'm like, there's too much passion in this and it's just too dope of a brand, But I didn't realize the magnitude of the success that would come from it. I didn't realize that I would one day be able to live nomadically and just have a team run my companies and not be there and be able to just do minimal work and kind of structure my life like a vacation, which is a huge blessing. But in doing so, it became significantly lonely because not a lot of people live like this. Not a lot of people can live like this, especially not at my age. So I think that's been hard to navigate too. And just, like I said, living in a transient place is challenging to connect with people. I think a lot of people who come to Bali, like everyone's obviously going through their own shit in life in general. But the people that come to Bali, like I feel like especially everyone's so like, yeah, let's link. And then they just won't message you or like, it's just weird. It's like that kind of energy. So that can be exhausting because for me, I'm like, I won't say that unless I mean it. But a lot of people are like, yeah, let's link. And then just like never call. And I'm like, I just think you could have just shut the fuck up. You could have just said nothing. You could have committed to nothing. That shit pisses me off. But yeah, so these last few months, honestly, the whole like 7 months that I've been here, I feel like I've been undoing so much conditioning and so much brainwashing from the West of just like, everything, the structure, how all the rules, hustle culture, the grind, normalizing burnout. Fuck is that? That's the dumbest thing I've ever, that doesn't even make any sense. I feel like just unconditioning all of the things has been exhausting and then scary also, because the more you know, the creepier this whole simulation gets. By the way, I believe it's a simulation. We can tap into that in another episode because I feel like today's not the day. But yeah, I definitely think it's a simulation. It's a little suspicious. And there's a lot of glitches. We'll get into it another time. But anyway, it's been very challenging. And I don't really know why I haven't let a ton of people in. I just posted on Instagram on my story being like, transparency post. I've been in the trenches. Despite posting very fun content, I've been in the fucking trenches. And as soon as I posted it, I feel like I could breathe. I'm like, I get so lonely. And then I remember I literally have such an incredible audience of like 50,000 people who fuck with me for my authenticity. Maybe my fat ass too, but like hopefully mainly my authenticity. That's like most of the content I put on social media. So I'm like, why don't I just say the things? Why don't I just be vulnerable? And now I'm getting all these sweet messages and just putting it out there and also just reminding people that it's okay not to be okay. And yeah, I've been posting the sickest content because I've been doing the sickest shit, to be fair. But that doesn't mean that you're not going through things behind closed doors. And I think prepping for season 3 to come out and recording these episodes for you guys and just being more honest and not even PRing it. Like, I love that this season is going to just be raw and unfiltered. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm just going to say what I feel because it's my life and it's my fucking podcast too. So who the fuck cares? Who's going to complain? You know, just unsubscribe. But anyway, yeah, it's been challenging. I'm trying to think of what started it. I think too much isolation. I've been alone. The giant culture shock, navigating things with that girl that I'm deeply in love with. Relationships are so complicated and they take so much energy out of you, good or bad, especially the healthy ones, because you're just like communicating to the max and actually talking about real shit that's, you know, trigger worthy. So that had a huge role to play in it. Being away from the businesses, feeling like I have FOMO, navigating relationships long distance, navigating relationships here, exploring my sexuality, going to sex parties. That was insane. And I'm doing a full episode on that. I'm going to tell you all the nitty gritty details because it's crazy. But that was intense for me. It broke open a lot of my trauma from sexual assault, obviously. But it was also such a freeing and expressive experience. Like, I remember walking into the first sex party being like, oh, I'm home. Like, this is my shit. It's always been something that's been in my mind, like, oh, I want to do this. But then I've like dated people who are like, no, that's weird. Or I've been in small towns where it wasn't accessible or even a thing. Or if it was, I had never heard of it. So I think it was really good for me, but it was really hard for me. I think I've just pushed myself to my limits. I fully have an addictive personality, not kind of, fully. So my addiction right now is self-betterment and just researching things and undoing conditioning. And I think sometimes I maybe put too much on myself of pressure. And yeah, I think when you're alone, you just have time to like loop things. You have time to overthink everything. Like, when I'm with people, I'm fixated on them and their emotions and their experiences. And there's like this back and forth of you talk, now I talk. Whereas when I'm alone, I just like, my whole life is on loop and it's detrimental to me. But as of this week, I've got a friend coming and then I'm going to Europe and I'm meeting up with like a few of my friends there. So I'm excited to be immersed with people that I love and trust. And honestly, in just a new environment, I think that'll be a good change up for me. But yeah, I've just been battling it. And I mean, heartbreak sucks. And it's really like significantly worse with women. It seems to me that it's much harder with women. So yeah, the nighttime sucks. The mornings, I feel like I'm filled with a little bit of hope. I'm like, ooh, the sun's out. Like, maybe today's going to be better. And then by the nights, I'm just crying myself to sleep. I'm sleeping well, which is good. I feel like sleeping when you're heartbroken is the best relief. And yeah, it's just been fucking brutal, to be honest. Like so bad. I have been sober for over 3 years. And it is rare for me to crave drinking. I think the last time I craved a drink, I was getting my toenail surgically pulled off. All right, guys, that was just a taste. The full episode, the raw, unfiltered version, is waiting for you on Patreon. This season is different. I'm talking sex parties, heartbreak, identity shifts, imposter syndrome, the shit I've never said out loud. No edits, no filters, no fluff. If you're ready to hear the full story, you know where to find me. Link is in the show notes, and I'll see you on the inside.